Welcome back to Isasnora Snores. I hope you have been enjoying your summer. We are done bringing you actual snippets from the book, but we're not saying goodbye yet to Isasnora and her friends. We'll bump into them periodically and see what they're up to in the Forest Petiole. Do you ever wonder if people back in Isasnora's time period recycled? Today, it is trendy and popular to take items that we might throw away and create something new. We call it upcycling. Old bottles glued together to create a sculpture. Old t-shirts sewn together to make a rug. Okay, work with me. I'm not very crafty. But you can go onto the internet and find all sorts of things you can do with toilet paper rolls. In medieval times, when Isasnora lived, though I'm not sure what century, there were very little supplies. So they needed to figure out how to make things last longer or take something that lost its use and turn it into something different. Fabric and new clothing were among the items medieval people had a difficult time finding. There were no Targets or Macy's nearby, and certainly no resale shops. They had to make the few articles of clothing last for a long time. When it became too shabby to wear, then the cloth became rags, which were used for all sorts of things. Bandages, or for cleaning, such as cleaning the body or cleaning the home. Builders of the time also traveled to Rome to use the marble and iron from the old Roman ruins to build their new cathedrals and castles. They were also recycling. What might Isasnora and her friends have done? They lived deep in the Forest Petiole. Trips to the kingdom were rare, so they had to make do with what they had. Let's listen in to Isasnora and Humple Dumple after he catches her using his old scales for a recycling project.
What are you doing? Those are my old scales. They were hiding in my cave.
Ew, your cave. I had to climb over bones and carcasses to find these. And the smell. Do you ever wash inside there?
Who let you in my cave?
You did. Last week you told me I was invited any time. You were not home, but I still went inside. Ugh, I almost fainted. But then I saw something shiny and blue. I rushed over to see your scales. I didn't know you shed so much.
That's between me and me. Besides, I did not shed that much until I met you. For some reason, your snoring makes me lose my scales.
My snoring? You told me it did not affect you.
Not the way it affects everyone else. I don't scratch or laugh, but my scales do fall off every once in a while. What are you making?
A knight's armor. Can't you see it now? Shiny cobalt blue. I just can't figure out how to get them to stick together.
Humple Dumple was leaning against a pine tree as he watched Isasnora fumble with the loose scales. He had a brilliant idea and tried pulling himself from the tree, but the sap worked like glue. He yanked and yanked. Finally, he freed himself, but several scales remained on the tree.
Ouch! Did you see what you made me do? Look! I have a large patch of red skin where I lost all my beautiful scales.
Me? I didn't do that. You did. Here, let me help.
She took a rag, one that was once a dress she wore as a small child, and dipped it into the cool river. She patted it onto Humple's back. After he felt better, Isasnora realized that the pine tree sap acted like glue. She tried scraping some off and applying it to the scales, but she wasn't very careful. The scales stuck themselves onto her. Before she knew it, she was completely blue and as stiff as a statue.
Help!
Ha ha ha! Now all you need are some wings, big teeth, and spikes, and you'll look just like me.
Humple Dumple carried the stiff Isasnora back to her family's cottage. It took her parents several hours to scrape off the scales. Her skin was red and splotchy. Lady Morella asked Isasnora how she got all those scales on her body. When Isasnora explained, her parents tried to hide their smiles. That night, Isasnora could not sleep because she was thinking of ways to keep the scales from sticking onto her. Too bad they did not have the internet back then to show Isasnora how to recycle dragon scales. Thank you for joining me, Carol L. Paur, author of Isasnora Snores. You may purchase Isasnora Snores at Black Rose Writing, Barnes & Noble, and Amazon. Cheers!